Hayden, you ready for some Story is King?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Let's do it. Okay, first things first, tell the audience what we should know you for and what you're working on now.
Yeah. So my name's Hayden Rothschild. I'm a British film producer based in London. I produced a film this year called Rock Paper Scissors. It's a short film. It's a fiction film based on a true story, and it is a war thriller about a young man and his father who set up a makeshift hospital in a bunker at the front line of war. And as they're waiting for an evacuation, they are tested as a group of enemy soldiers are closing in on their location. So it's up to our young protagonist to try and help himself, his family, his friends, and everything that they stand for. So it's not a light story, but interestingly, my company is called Who's Here Films, and we focus on developing and championing stories that have a sense of wonder and inspiration that people can find a sense of escapism in and experience other
hmm
perspectives and lives outside of their own, especially people who are finding themselves in moments of difficulty or hardship. The idea of the films that we make are films that allow people to have something that they can kind of lose themselves in, even if it's for 20 minutes, 90 minutes. That's our goals and aspirations with the kinds of films that we look to make.
Well, you're off to a great start, I have to say. So we all watched the film. I got I got a lump in my throat at the end there, and I love adding sort of that the sort of the credits, the sort of post text there at the end where we realize this is a true story and this person, I'm not going to give it away. Everybody should go out and see Rock Paper Scissors. Where can they see it? Is it available to watch right now, or can
It's
we
not,
end up putting this in the show notes or anything
yeah,
like
you
that?
can, I can share a link at the minute. We're currently still in our festival cycle. We are
Yep.
contending for the 2026 Oscars. So wherever your viewers might be, we'll be hosting a whole bunch of different screenings, presumably well, not presumably, but in LA, London, New York, Denmark, interestingly. So there'll be a few opportunities to be able to catch the film. I'm sure I can share our socials, and I can plug the socials so that you can kind of keep up to see where you might be able to catch the film.
That's wonderful. We really appreciate it, and I think you got a good shot at the Oscars. I mean, the performance you get out of the lead, Alexander. I'm forgetting his last name. What's
Radinsky.
his last name, guys? Radinsky. Yeah, the performance you get out of Alexander Radinsky, unbelievable. But everybody's good in it. Everybody is good in it. The cinematography is unbelievable.
That's what I was
What
gonna
you
say,
did,
Chris.
yeah,
Cinematography.
unbelievable.
It's just spot on. Like you get the sense that you're there. I think that's the key for me. That's
Yes,
so well done.
Nick, you nailed it exactly. You're completely have you're in suspension of disbelief, right? Like you're there. You feel like you're in Ukraine. If the accents are spot on. These are all, and the reason I mention this stuff is, guys, is because these are all things that are really hard to nail in a short film, and they're really hard to nail if you haven't been making movies for 30 years. I mean, they just are. They're just hard to nail, and that's why a lot of times in this sort of short category that do get Oscar nominated or do win a lot of awards, you'll find out that they are maybe live, maybe animated, or maybe they're using marionettes, maybe they're using different types of animation and movement, or they're documentary shorts. Right? It's hard to do it as a narrative sort of live action thing, and when you have limited resources. And Hader, you just crushed it with this, and I'm like, even the production design and the props, the down to the foley and the sound design. It was all just, you know how hard it is to get sound design right in an outdoor shoot where half of the movie or three-fourths of the movie's outdoors. Like, I know I'm glazing you a little bit here, but you deserve it. It was really fantastic. So kudos again.
Thank you so much for all of those kind words. It's a labor of love from all of the different members of the team. You know, it was put together by such an incredible group of people who, one of the biggest things I can say about them is that there was no ego on this production. And I think that is the secret sauce for our success with the filmmaking, is that everybody brought their true and honest self to the production, and they just smashed it with their different, you know, you're talking about like the production design, the designer Shivani, she spent so much time researching it. The cinematographer Sunshine, she put together so many different types of ideas forwards that the director Franz Bohm kind of took on board in a way that really made it into a collaborative effort. And you talk about Alexander Rudinsky, what he is truly the MVP in this production, in this film. I think his own background and his story, you know, we managed to bring him, we got him over from Ukraine, and for him this was such a personal piece of storytelling that, you know, being able to give him the space to be able to really explore what that character is and what that environment it looks like. It really means a lot to me to hear that was your feedback and that was your reaction to the film. You know, it's very humbling. So thank you.
Yeah, and I don't want to forget about the writing. Did Franz, the director of this, write this as well?
Yeah, so it's actually a really interesting story. So the film is based on a real person called Ivan, who Franz, the director, had met. Um, he's only 18, you know, and I don't know if you know any 18-year-olds, but you know, 18 is not a long life to have
Yep.
lived. So that when they met and they kind of grew a little bit closer in terms of friendship, Franz had learnt of this story that happened in this person's life, in Ivan's life, and it was just so obscene that this was something that he'd experienced and what had driven him to come. He joins as a volunteer to the Ukrainian military after the events of the film took place, and he was quite instrumental in the storytelling and the building of the project. And because of that, because it's his real life story, and because of that, we've made sure that he is recognized as one of the writers on the film. So between him and Franz, you know, there was a lot of development sessions as well with some of the rest of the team. I worked with Franz as well to kind of fine tune it so that it translates from reality to screen. We had quite a lot of different script sessions, but primarily it was Franz and Ivan that put the story together.
Yeah, kudos to them. And look, the way I've presented you so far, the audience might think that you just sort of rolled out of bed and made this film, but you've been in production roles and in film roles for many, many years. Been doing this for a while. Certainly cut your teeth on a lot of TV and film, you know, in the past, including one of my favorite shows, Master of None, where you were the production secretary. So shout out to that show, and Aziz Ansari. So I just want to let audience know, like, you've been producing and doing this for a minute, and it did take some time for you to grow the skill. So with that in mind, what was the moment that you knew you wanted to live a life in the creative arts or in film?
That's a really good question, because I think, firstly, film for me has been such a privilege to be able to say that this is now my day-to-day job. This is not like a hobby or a side hustle or something that, you know, I've spoken to people before, you know, when you talk about film with people who aren't in that type of that realm or that sphere, they always kind of think to themselves like, oh, that's really interesting. That's really cool that you do that as a, what else do you do? What else do you
Yeah.
do? And it's such a blessing and an honor to be able to say that this is my career. This is something that I had chosen to do, and I've still seeing it through, and there's still a long way for me to go. But to get to that point now, it started when I was much, much, much younger, when I was pre-teen, I would say, where for me, films were a form of escapism. Like I would watch
Mm.
films and I would lose myself in these stories. And for me, it allowed me to be anybody else, like it allowed me to go and experience the world from the cinema, or from my sofa or from my bed when I'm watching it on my laptop, or it's probably not the greatest way to watch films on your laptop, but
Yeah.
the idea was that for me, I would say that film was a form of therapy for me. It really saved my life. And for what I have dedicated my life to now is to be able to give that back to the world. So I want to be able to create films now. And I've dedicated all my time, energy, everything into being able to create films that allow people to feel something different, even if it is for just 90 minutes, even if it is for just
Yeah.
30 minutes or 20 minutes, the opportunity for someone to be able to experience something that isn't their current situation or their life, or even to enrich themselves. You see something in a film. I'll give you an example. I don't know if you know a film called Coco, which is a Pixar movie. You know, it's an animated
Yes.
Of course.
movie.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And some might argue that it's a kid's movie, but I loved it. I really enjoyed that film. I
Yeah,
watched
me
that
too.
film years ago.
Mm.
Yeah. I watched that film years ago, and that really stayed in my mind subconsciously. I was in Mexico recently, as recent as over the weekend. I was there for business, and it just so happened to fall.
Mhm.
I was in Guadalajara. Shout out Guadalajara, a beautiful place in Mexico. I was there during the Dias de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. And that whole
Yeah. Yeah.
experience is so incredible and so beautiful to be able to see the culture, the richness of that culture, to see how they celebrate the people that have passed, to see all the colors, the festivals, the music. All of that had come from seeing the film Coco. So I think as a filmmaker, I feel like it's so important to be able to present people with these opportunities to experience these different cultures so that one day they have an understanding of what the world looks like beyond their bedroom.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
That's
and you
beautiful. I
see, I got
love.
my sugar skull right over here, right on
Okay,
the
for
on the
those just
wall.
listening, Nick is pointing at the
Y-
Lego placards behind his back here, and he's pointing over his left shoulder, or actually, it's his right shoulder, left for me, and he's
Yeah,
pointing
yeah,
at
but the
one of his
sugar
Lego
skull is
creations.
inspired by Coco, and that's the thing. I think that's what Hader's getting at is that film on any size screen, it does let you experience things, feel things, and it
Hmm.
helps you as a creative even create things because all creation is inspiration. So if you can deliver that inspiration through your art, it's amazing. Right. So yeah, I was inspired by Coco as well.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I always talk about my favorite film being The Princess Bride, and the reason why is because that movie introduces a lot of ideas to a young person. First of all, it has every type of storytelling all wrapped up in one movie, one film. But also, it's like when you grow up where I grew up, like is it like in the South here in Tennessee. Before I traveled anywhere, it was like the world wasn't a very big place, right? Or it was this big place, but you didn't know anything about it, right? You just know about your world. And then you watch a movie like that and you're introduced to the possibilities. And I think that's why film is easily the best storytelling and entertainment medium humans have ever created. You mentioned what film did for you in your life. Can you describe your childhood to us in 3 words, just to give us a
Three
sense
words.
of like
Yeah. Okay.
how it saved you? Yeah.
I think I would say, if I was to pick 3 words, let me do one by one. So I'd say first word, I'd probably say difficult. And I'm sure
I'm going
many
to write these down.
people,
Okay. As you go.
yeah. And, I say it universally because I presume that difficult can be something that's relatable for many people. So difficult is definitely one of the words of my childhood. I would then
Mm,
say inspired would be the second
mm,
word. And the third word I would say about my
okay.
childhood is, ooh, I'm gonna. I said difficult, so I can't really say something similar to difficult again. It'll be a bit of a cop out, right? That's 3 unique words. I promise. I know more than 2 words. I promise you. The vocabulary extends beyond just two
No,
words.
just say that the third word needs to be the first word that comes to your head now, right? Just to say
Yeah.
the
Okay,
Yeah.
word
Just
that you
now.
want to
what
say.
pops into your head?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Traumatic.
There we go. That's see, to me, that's the honest answer, and I love that.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
okay. And I think there's a lot of people in the audience that like can definitely, you talk about relatable with difficult. I think traumatic can be incredibly relatable, as
Yeah, and
well. So
I'll also just say too that there's so many levels of that, right? Of trauma, and we all interpret trauma in different ways. And now that we're all older, I'm sure we've all had that little conversation. We're talking to somebody about something, and we do
mhm.
something or say something, and then either we or someone around us makes the comment, "Childhood trauma."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's just
Trigger.
yeah.
yep.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's levels to that though, Nick. There's levels.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
who
There's
hasn't
levels.
had trauma,
Yeah,
No,
exactly. There's
yeah.
levels and there's levels to us, right? As
Some
well, like
people haven't,
what we
but
go through. Yeah.
yeah, and we appreciate you sharing, being honest with us on that. Just like I know if the trauma, just like I'll just say it, like we research everybody really well, so we understand a lot of this stuff, and and understood that about you before you came on the show, and it's like it takes a lot when you actually go through abuse and trauma. It takes a lot just to say the word trauma out loud. So we think that's incredible. We appreciate you for that.
Well,
Thank
the
you.
key is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he's gotten beyond it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think what's
Yeah.
important to
Takes it,
mention as well
and
is,
look.
yeah, I think what's important to mention as well is I think, a lot of people tend to think of it as like a negative or like something that might hold them back in some way. But, being able to like seeing it from the other side now, kind of coming through it, everybody kind of goes through something through their lives. But I think the key thing is when you look back at it, to see how far you've come, and also how that shapes the kinds of your personality, your point of view, and in my case, using that to kind of funnel my understanding of creativity, my understanding of storytelling. I love I love the idea of melancholy because you can't
Mhm.
appreciate if it was Christmas every day, you wouldn't appreciate it. So the idea of being able to understand that Christmas comes 365 days after the previous one, you have to kind of live through all of that until you can enjoy it again. So yeah, I
Yes.
think it's really trauma is something that we should definitely not shy away from when we speak about it because it's something that isn't anything to be ashamed of across any kinds of format.
It's
Well,
a great
Chris, we just
argument for
came up. He just
diversity as well, right, Nick? Like,
Yeah, and I was gonna say he just came up with the name for his Christmas movie.
what is it?
Waiting for Christmas.
Waiting for Christmas. Does it have a dog in it?
Well, there has to be a dog,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love it.
I like it. I'm gonna write that down. Waiting for Christmas, and like to me, it's an argument for diversity because like if you don't have larger people, you don't know who's smaller. If you don't have tall people, you don't know who's short.
Yeah,
If you're not in a car driving 55 miles per hour, you can't tell what's standing still. You can't tell that you're even moving.
Right, and if you
right?
don't have chocolate, you don't know if you have caramel. I get it. I understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's it. That's it.
That was my prison nickname, Butter Pecan. They used to call me that in the slammer.
Oh,
I thought it was butter pecan.
No, they would be licking their teeth, licking their lips. Butter pecans.
It's like that. Have you seen that skit? The NFL player names when they come up with a skit with is it Key and
Yes,
Peele?
yeah.
Yeah.
Key and Peele, hilarious.
But a pecan sounds like
Those-
it's NFL.
You
You got
gotta
the
have an
draft,
apostrophe in there somewhere.
Hey man, if I really did have to go to jail, I'd be like Ed Norton in 25th Hour, man. Hey man, I couldn't get out of it. Come make me ugly. They could try too. I don't know if they succeed, Papa Bear. I don't know if they succeed making me ugly, but
look at you. Look at you.
Butter pecan.
I'm not no
The
comment.
Morgan Freeman character in the background. I'd like to say he was a good man.
You're right.
From Shawshank, you know.
Yes, like a Twinkie. Okay, let's wrap up. Story is king with what is a piece of advice you live by, Hayden?
Oh, okay. One of the biggest ones that I live by is that success and greatness doesn't come to you; it comes from you.
Ooh. Okay,
I like the idea that
down too.
Yeah, I love it as well. Because success and greatness has to be the manifestation of, desire, work, perseverance, all of these things, right? So even if you're given something, like, even if someone were to give you like $1 million, someone could say, well, you're successful. No. You just have $1 million.
1 million.
Right. Yeah. That's not success, right? Success is the thing that comes from you that you've done with your hands, right? It's like the thing that you put your work and your life and your heart into. So I love that because no one can give it to you. You got to earn that.
Yeah. How many times have we seen like a Nepo baby that has all the resources in the world, but doesn't do anything well? And acutely realizes that they don't need to. That's the shame of it. They know they don't have to do anything. Like, it's like, okay, cool. All right. But I think for guys like us, it really makes a difference to go out there and be able to put your name behind something and be really proud of it. Right. That's the idea. So I love that.